following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Not long ago, former 2000 Olympic teammates Jermain Taylor and Jeff Lacy were two of boxing's hottest young stars. Lacy had ridden a string of knockouts to a reputation as one of the sport's biggest punchers, and claimed a 168-pound title belt in just his 18th pro fight. One weight class south, at middleweight, Jermain Taylor was distinguishing himself with a dominant run of his own. And when he beat Bernard Hopkins for the division crown, the sky appeared to be the limit for Taylor.
You got a brand new star in boxing. His name is Jermain Taylor.
The two stars were on a collision course until both fighters hit hard times.
This is never going to be the same again after this, I don't think.
He's got nothing left, John. He's got nothing left.
First, Lacy suffered a brutal beating at the hands of Joe Calzaghe. More recently, Taylor's star faded in consecutive losses to Kelly Pavlik.
Taylor is done. Left hook. Drops Taylor's head up. Uppercut has Taylor in big trouble. Down goes Jermain.
Now each man looks to use his former Olympic teammate as a stepping stone toward career redemption. And at just past 30, both fighters are well positioned to rise anew. Also tonight, a flashback to 1 week ago at Madison Square Garden, where worlds collided in the light heavyweight division. Welshman Joe Calzaghe brought his perfect record across the pond and battled the legendary Roy Jones in a fight literally years in the making. Would an aging star turn in one more glorious night, or would the Prince of Wales conquer New York? First up, a look back at Calzaghe versus Jones. Then it's live boxing with Jermain Taylor and Jeff Lacy facing off in a high-stakes showdown. Live from Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, it's HBO's World Championship Boxing. Tonight, a doubleheader begins with a look back at the events of 1 week ago in Madison Square Garden in New York, where future Hall of Famers Joe Calzaghe and Roy Jones faced off against each other. Then in our live fight, Jermain Taylor takes on Jeff Lacy in a matchup of young veterans on the comeback trail. A look at Music City, USA, scene of the Country Music Association Awards earlier this week. Longtime home of the Grand Ole Opry. Tonight, a first-time host to HBO's World Championship Boxing. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to this special edition of World Championship Boxing. Later tonight, in our live main event here on the campus of Vanderbilt, Jeff Lacy and Jermain Taylor will be squaring off for prominence in the 168-pound weight class, a division now loaded with aspiring young title contenders, because its reigning champion, Joe Calzaghe, if he isn't through with boxing entirely, is certainly through with fighting at 168. And coincidentally, we begin our telecast now with a look back at Calzaghe, also the reigning light heavyweight champion of the world, defending that title at the biggest weight of his career against the fighter who, through most of Calzaghe's career, ranked not only as the light heavyweight champion, but also as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing. So let's go back 1 week now. Joe Calzaghe versus Roy Jones. I was at ringside with Max Kellerman and Emmanuel Stewart. Rarely have two fighters more visibly projected confidence before the opening bell. And immediately Calzaghe chases Jones to the ropes, missing with a sweeping left hand. One problem for Jones in the fight, how to find ways to deal with the greater frequency of Calzaghe's punches. He says he can do it with power.
Well, I think Jones's attitude is right in the fight. You know, the thing is both guys have fast hands, and I think Jones has a little bit more crack in his shot than Calzaghe. And at this stage right now, Calzaghe is fighting the fight that he wants to fight, and Jones is fighting the fight that he wants to fight. Jones is basically going to try to make Calzaghe burn himself out by throwing a lot of punches and then explode with his own combinations on the counter defense, counter move.
Jones has always had devastating power. The reason he hasn't scored even more knockouts is because he thinks safety first oftentimes. Doesn't want to expose himself to danger.
Right, with Trinidad hurt it quite a few occasions, but he would back off because he knew if he threw a few more punches, he would take a risk of getting hit himself.
38 knockouts in 52 wins for Jones. However, no knockouts since February of 2002. It's been 6 years, 9 months since Jones has knocked an opponent out. And that's because he hasn't been committing to his big punches.
Well, he landed the only real punch of this round so far, a counter right hand.
But he also gives up. Calzaghe lands inside.
Yeah.
And particularly to the body, Calzaghe is landing his stuff.
Well, to the elbows. I haven't seen too many clean shots even downstairs from Calzaghe, at least not to my eye.
Work out of it, work out of it. Break! Okay, break!
Calzaghe knows that Jones is quicker in the center of the ring, and down goes Calzaghe. Just as he was down in the first round against Hopkins, he's down in the first round against Jones. And Jones makes his point that he can hurt Calzaghe in flurries inside.
But he may not make it out of this one like he did with the Hopkins.
He's much more hurt.
He's seriously hurt. The other one's more of a flash knockdown.
Much more badly hurt than against Hopkins. And fighting rather than trying to get away. Calzaghe's going to take the chance that he can keep fighting with Jones after taking a big shot.
Well,
and he goes forward, waiting in. But Jones is going to have a 10-8 round with which to begin the fight.
But this is not something that Jones likes to do, so he may end up, if he doesn't stop Calzaghe, getting in trouble himself.
An amazing turn of events in round one.
When you open up a three combination, you've got to bring the fight to him. You've got to go and finish him off. You hear me now? The jab went weak. You went weak in the jab out. Where's the stuff? For fuck's sake, where's the stuff? Should be fucking ready. I get it. Don't worry about it. You're falling asleep. Okay. Are you in now?
Come on, Joe, just wake up,
You
Joe.
tucked in and start feeling the fight. Are you happy good? You feel good? Yeah. Feel
He's
good?
okay, come on.
Wait for that shot. Don't let him fucking wait for that shot, Joe.
We've made this guy open for us. Okay? Let's keep working your jab a little bit more. You'll be able to see a lot of stuff. He's flinching on you when you jab at him. Feint and go. Feint punch. Here we see Roy Jones land a jab in the eye, which really obstructed the vision of Calzaghe. And then as Calzaghe was going down, he got hit with a punch that Jones just shot in anticipation of where his head was going to be. Perfect punch.
Although it looked like he hit him with his wrist,
yeah,
his forearm.
But he didn't see it, you know, Jermain. He didn't see the punch.
So there's blood on the bridge of Calzaghe's nose. He's already been down in round one. Jones has a confidence builder. And just as was the case against Hopkins, Calzaghe has to dig out of a hole. Combi box numbers in the first round, Calzaghe 13 out of 58, Jones 9 out of 34. You can expect to see Joe try to boost his punch output and go to a higher number.
Watch your feet, watch your feet. Okay, wait. What?
It's clear that even having already been down, Calzaghe still wants to be the aggressor.
But, you know, Calzaghe has never lost a fight, and I think he's probably been down about 4 times in fights, which shows that he does have the ability to come back. And at this stage right now still, the fight is like, to me, a toss-up fight. It could go either way.
Down in the first round against Chris Eubank, won the fight. Down in the second round against Byron Mitchell, knocked Mitchell out in that round. Has shown the capacity to come back.
To understand how spectacular Roy was at his best, he's not nearly as fast now as he was, and yet he's outspeeding Joe Calzaghe, who I thought was the fastest light heavyweight around, at least this side of Chad Dawson.
Come on, let go, let go, let go.
Can he do it over the long stretch of the fight if Calzaghe can make it go round? And here's what will hurt Jones most if it keeps up. When he leans against the ropes and puts his hands up and lets Joe throw, Joe gets to pile up points.
Well, you know, Joe is still very much in this fight, because he's still, I don't know, Roy can go at this pace himself, because Joe's going to go at this pace all night. He may be a little sloppy sometimes in his defense, but Roy, as we said earlier, hasn't knocked out anybody in a long time. Scoring a knockdown is one thing, but a knockout is different.
This time Calzaghe slips the Jones right hand and lands a couple of little body shots inside. It's abundantly clear it's a different fight in the center of the ring than when they go to the ropes. And Calzaghe seems to have his legs under him now and a greater ability to withstand what Jones throws. Jones lands another right-hand shot that brings people out of their seats.
This point of the fight, I think Roy Jones is making Joe Calzaghe look like a washed-up Felix Trinidad. He seems to be countering well, picking off most of Calzaghe's shots. Although, of course, Jim, you're right. In the middle of the ring, it's more obvious, I think, Roy's advantages in clean punching.
Bring him up.
Blood trickling down Calzaghe's nose. Jones backing into the ropes and giving Calzaghe a chance to just throw away. Many of the punches blocked, but some of them landed on the ribcage.
But outside of that one good, beautiful, clean right hand that Roy landed, he didn't do too much more. And that round could have possibly still went to Calzaghe. I thought Joe outworked it.
All right. Try to stay on his right shoulder just a little bit more. Yeah, stay on his right shoulder a little bit more, okay? Don't square up too much. He can't hit you, but don't square up too much over there on his left hand, okay? Huh? Don't square up on his left hand. Stay on his right shoulder a little bit more. You're going to be able to get your hook in.
His right side?
Yeah, stay on his right shoulder. Just line up on his right shoulder.
To my left?
Yeah. You'll be able to get your hook in. You're dropping that right hand quite a bit.
Just keep the left hand tight and use it regular as a pattern. And move to the right. Yeah. That is a great round. All right, you can battle your spell, all right? You won that well. Pass it.
Right here.
Are you in now?
Yeah, man, cool.
Exactly, tight. He's only looking for pop shots.
Yeah.
Joanna Larvin, Joe Calzaghe's girlfriend, one of the stars at 24/7, much to worry about early in the fight.
Let's go. Clear the corner.
How many times have you seen the fighter's wife or the fighter's girlfriend unconsciously put her hands in the praying position? And apropos of what you said, Emmanuel Stewart, in the second round by CompuBox numbers, Calzaghe landing 23 of 76 to Jones 8 of 34. However, Harold Letterman gave the round to Jones on his scorecard. That would put Calzaghe 3 points in the hole in a fight in which he hopes to dominate the second half of the fight. Good body shot by Calzaghe. Left hand upstairs by Calzaghe.
Over the last half round or so, Calzaghe is landing much cleaner to the body. And he gives judges every reason to score for him, Joe Calzaghe does.
Come on, work out of it.
Good body shot by Jones. Calzaghe unfazed. Goes at him with his hands held low.
You know, Roy's punches are much more flashy and much more powerful. But, you know, unless he
throws
really...
one punch at a time, and Calzaghe throws 6.
And that's what I'm saying, and I don't know if he's ever fought anybody like this. Calzaghe is not just... He's a big man. You know, it's very, very difficult to just take punches from a tall guy like that.
Calzaghe showboating in the center of the ring.
You ever thought you'd see that with an opponent against Roy Jones?
Good right hand by Jones. Hard body shot before that by Calzaghe.
And this is what I expected Roy to do, boy. To just cover up, walk him down, and try to force Calzaghe to burn himself out by throwing so many punches while he's blocking him.
Calzaghe taking Jones's punches much better now. And landing when he fires back. Hacking Jones's guard out of the way with the right hand there.
I mean, Calzaghe is standing in front of Roy Jones with his hands down, showboating, and carrying the round.
Watch his shoulder.
I don't think either fighter has ever fought anyone with the speed that the opponent has tonight.
It's abundantly clear, at least with body language, Calzaghe is trying to portray to the audience and to the judges that he has weathered the storm, that he understands what's up with Jones now, that he's not faced by what happened in round one, and that he can swamp Jones with punch count from here. He has dominated round three.
We got to land some big shots behind that shit. Okay? Yep. All right. Make him pay. Make him pay. He's standing under the gun. Now you're going to be able to hit him with some stuff. All right.
Can you do Joe Calzaghe for him? Can you do Joe Calzaghe for him? Yes or no? That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay? Job?
November 25 on Real Sports, from the world's fastest man to hard time. The story of Tim Montgomery, once the world record holder in the 100-meter dash, now stripped of his records for using steroids and in prison for money laundering.
Here we can see both guys doing pretty much what I expected. Calzaghe throwing a lot of punches, showboating, dropping his hands. And I think it's really not that they're showboating. This is just part of each one of these fighter styles.
And that was exactly the kind of round Calzaghe wants to fight. CompuBox numbers in the round, Calzaghe landing 35 of 107 punches thrown. Jones 16 of 42. Calzaghe 28 out of 85 power shots. Harold, how do you have it through three?
That gets him 2 rounds to 1, 29-27, Roy Jones. You know, you got to give him an extra point for that first round. The second round, I thought Joe still was a little bit stunned, and Roy hurt him. But the third round, oh my God, Joe Calzaghe put on a performance. I mean, the guy is so good. Just incredible third round. Anyway, 2-1, Roy Jones.
Jim, I think you nailed it when you said Calzaghe's showboating. He has to dig himself out of a hole on the cards, yes, but also psychologically, he's demonstrating that he is not showing ill effects of the punch and that he is, in fact, the guy in charge.
Well, actually, Roy's never had anyone do this to him. He's actually making Roy miss. He's intimidating Roy. He's hitting Roy with punches. And to me, outside of the first round, he's won, even though you may not have given it to him. I thought he's won all of the other rounds because he's just outworking Roy.
I think it's possible that some judges could have given him the second round, and right now his hand speed is accelerating and Jones is slowing down. Now Jones may be looking for a way to pick a spot.
And Roy is having a problem of trying to time Joe's hand. Joe's hand speed is bothering Roy now.
And keep in mind too, Joe was not knocked down by a punch. He was knocked down by a forearm or a wrist. No part of the glove actually hit him in the face.
And his corner has done a pretty good job so far of stanching the bleeding along the right side of his nose. So things are going well for Calzaghe again as we go into the fourth round. But again, he's digging himself out of a hole, having fallen behind in the first and maybe the second rounds. And you never know when Jones may lay another trap for him. Question is, has Calzaghe now tasted Jones's power to such an extent that he won't be shocked if he gets hit again with something he doesn't see?
I believe that's because look at the history of Calzaghe. He's always been that way. He would get hurt early and always come back. But I just think that his speed and his ring generalship is bothering Roy. Roy's never experienced this, and I think that the fact that Joe can do this all night.
That's right. You don't expect Calzaghe to slow down.
No.
Kessler waited for it to happen, and Calzaghe just kept building the tempo. And now he's attacking Jones with impunity in the corner. And throwing 3- and 4-punch combinations, which Jones tries to fend off one shot at a time.
He's beaten Roy in every way at this point.
Good hard right hand by Jones.
With his hands down.
It may not be wise for him not to worry about Jones's power, but he's trying to portray that he's not worried about Jones's power. You're looking at videotape from last week in New York City. We are live at ringside on the campus of Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, where as soon as Jones Calzaghe concludes, you'll be watching Jermain Taylor and Jeff Lacy fighting for prominence in the 168-pound division, a division which Calzaghe has vacated as champion. Just a short time ago, our Larry Merchant spoke with Jeff Lacy.
Jeff, is there anything you can take by the way Pavlik beat Jermain twice and apply to yourself?
Yes, a lot of the consistent pressure that he did, using the jab, coming over his, throwing a right hand right over his jab. He's vulnerable for right hands when he's jabbing. At as they say, the elbow comes up as he's going in. He's normally throwing 2 to 3 shots, 2 to 3 jabs before he throws his right hand. So, and that's what makes that slingshot, or whatever you call it, that bow and arrow effect that he does.
We know you want to beat your old Olympic pal. Do you want to beat him up? Do you have to beat him up?
Well, right now, this is business. That's the thing you have to put to the side right now. And I have to go in there and fight my fight. And that's the way we prepare for this fight. We went in there to fight. And, you know, if everything comes out well, we're going to be victorious in the fight. And, you know, hopefully we can sit down and talk about it.
Thanks, Jeff. Good luck.
Thank you.
They've known each other for 14 years. They sparred together many times as amateurs. Let's go back to New York last week.
Yeah, babe. I've been calling you. He's shocking everything out of him. He's shocking everything out of him. The feint's killing him. All these feints you're doing is killing him, right? Your left hand's working wonderful today, right? Your left hand's working lovely. You doing that, Joe? Yeah. Breathe in, ass, breathe in. Joe, listen, I'm not even 2 spins up the hill lane. Not even 2 spins up the lane. You with me, Joe?
Don't load up. Let your hands go. Let your hands go and try to match it. Try to outbox this guy, okay? Outbox him in and out. When the opportunity comes, let your power shots go. You're looking for just big power shots now.
Here you see Calzaghe get hit with punches by Roy, but I don't think they landed that cleanly because Joe was rolling his body with the punches.
Numbers aren't everything. Punch count isn't everything. But by CompuBox count, Calzaghe outlanded Jones 74-27 in the last 2 rounds. So on Harold Letterman's scorecard, he climbs back to within a point. If you're a judge who gave Calzaghe the 2nd round, which is possible, he would now be ahead in the fight.
If you're a Roy Jones fan, I think you have to be hoping that he catches Joe coming in with something hard, particularly when Joe is standing as he is now with his guard down.
And again, I'm not sure he really totally disrespects Jones's power, but I think he wants to show the ringside people that he disrespects Jones's power by way of making a point that he's not bothered by what happened in round 1.
And maybe show Roy that he doesn't respect his power.
Good straight left hand by Calzaghe, 3 right hands to the body, combination upstairs. Jones fires back with 1 right hand. This was the basic equation coming into the fight. A fighter who is comfortable throwing 75 punches around against a fighter who customarily throws 35 to 40. How do you rework the equation in your favor if you're Jones?
Well, Roy's not been that successful in landing too many clean punches. Even the punches the last round that, you know, we gave him credit for. I think the fact that the steam was rolled away by Calzaghe, and Calzaghe is doing what he wants to do at this stage right now. I can't believe how he's dropping his hands to get away with that with Roy Jones. But Roy's contact percentage has got to be very low. He's throwing punches, but he cannot hit Calzaghe.
There's a hard right hand by Jones. Calzaghe comes back working the body. Calzaghe blocks a couple Jones shots and slips the right hand there. Break! No. Hooks. Body shots by Calzaghe. Jones backs away. Joe hasn't landed anything really solid upstairs in a while, and he takes another hard right-hand shot by Jones. This round may be on the table with 50 seconds to go. Calzaghe begins to try to apply his volume formula to it.
Well, I would have to give Roy so far this round here the way it's going. At this point.
Why would Roy allow someone to stand in front of him with his hands down when he can punch is beyond me.
Well, that's his way of trying to make Calzaghe get tired.
Calzaghe lands a big left hand.
Yep.
Now the round belongs to the Welshman.
Yep.
Jones lands a left off the ropes. Jones's left eye is starting to swell.
Jones is being physically beaten as well as outpunched.
Hard right hand by Jones. Calzaghe with the right hand. They're going to fight down the stretch of the round.
Tough round.
And Calzaghe tries to nail it down with a flurry at the finish. Jones with one more big counter shot. What a round. Both fighters made statements there.
Okay, when you pity patting, you feel him on the outside with your hands. Run something off the middle, champ. He pity patting a lot, but stay on his right shoulder. Move to your left. Come on, try to get your hook in. If you feel that stuff on the outside, run something strong off to the inside, because his punches is wide. Okay? As soon as you feel it, run something off.
So when you're in there, get on the ropes, alone. I know for 5 or 4 rounds this guy's gone. Yeah. But don't be nothing careless. Don't be nothing careless. Good job. Good job, Joe. Are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with yourself? Cool. It looks very, very, very good. Right, you're boxing very well.
Here you see Joe Calzaghe throwing a lot of punches and missing a lot, but eventually he starts coming through with that straight left hand. And, and if he can keep connecting like that, which I think he's going to be doing a lot more of that, Roy's going to have a rough time tonight.
Hold it. Hold it.
CompuBox numbers on power shots in round 5. Calzaghe 20 out of 58. Jones 18 out of 33. Calzaghe with a 12-0 edge in jabs. Jones had his moments in that round, but as you see, Harold Letterman gave it to Calzaghe. Once again, the activity rate puts Jones on the defensive. Slight swelling above the left eye of Roy Jones. Calzaghe with the blood stopped outside his nose on the right side looks pretty good. Pattern of the fight established as Calzaghe stalks and Jones looks to counter. Jones must have made a pretty good point in the last round because Calzaghe is suddenly treating him with more respect.
Roy's main punch in this fight has been the right hand, particularly the right hand lead, which he does so effective. He's always gotten away with that. He's having problems getting that punch in with Calzaghe, and that's got him all off track because he's not really jabbing much. He's not throwing left hooks. It's the right hand lead that he's trying to, and that's not working. So he's having a problem of finding anything that can be effective.
And slowly, imperceptibly, Emmanuel, it just appears to me that Calzaghe's body attack is beginning to take its toll. Jones looks a little bit more labored than at the beginning.
And also Calzaghe's rhythm, his in and out rhythm. It's not that easy to time. He's not just a guy that's walking in flat-footed before you can time him which one. He comes in and out, and he has his own good defense when he's.
It looks to me that Roy is occasionally, when he circles, especially landing that lead right hand, it doesn't look like it's having a tremendous effect on Joe.
No,
and that may be having an effect on Roy.
Definitely. because that's the main thing he worked on, and I'm quite sure Joe them have studied him very well and learned that that's the main punch they have to look at is for the little sneak right hand lead. And they've taken his best weapon away from him. And when you do that with any fighter, you know, it makes him, there it is again. And he's not been effective with it.
Hooks. Remember, Calzaghe is the master of making mid-fight adjustments to turn the tactical equation in his favor. Takes a big uppercut there. Excellent punch by Jones. And maybe Jones has found another way to land his right hand. And Joe fights back the way he's most accustomed to, by piling punches on. There's Bernard Hopkins sitting at ringside 3 weeks after his amazing triumph over Kelly Pavlik. A lot at stake for Hopkins in the eyes of many who think that maybe he would be a logical opponent for Roy Jones if, in fact, Jones can get past Calzaghe and win the fight.
Are you winning, Roy? Have you got 6 rounds in these?
Fucking A.
Huh? Have you got 6 rounds?
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful. Don't go sloppy. Just don't go sloppy. He's only got 1 shot, pop one. He's got fuck all else. The same fucking shot. The fucking same shot he's got, right? Down the corners and right and tighten up your combinations. Don't go loose when you tag. Right? Yep. Ta-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, okay? You've got no answer. What's the fucking ever?
Don't go for the one big shot, okay? He's coming right back. Look, check this out. When you finish hitting him, if he go do that pitter-patter stuff, tie him up. Keep turning, stay on his...
Here you see Roy Jones laying a beautiful time uppercut right through the defense of Calzaghe, and Joe least expected it. But beyond that punch, which was the best punch of the round, it wasn't too much landed by Jones.
While, according to CompuBox numbers, Calzaghe landed 30 blows and threw 91. And again, judges can see how many punches are thrown way more effectively than they can see what lands. We're halfway through the fight. It's going by fast. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Jim. 57, 56, 4 rounds to 2. Joe Calzaghe. Jim, you just can't take it away from him. He throws so many punches in each and every round. Roy Jones lists 1, 2, 3 good right hands in a round. But other than that, the activity of Joe Calzaghe has to be winning this fight. I mean, I thought Roy deserved an extra point for round 1. Thought Roy stunned him in round 2. But after that, Joe Calzaghe threw too many. 4-2 Calzaghe on clean punching.
Calzaghe a little bit slower, more tactical, more selective here at the beginning of round 7. Obviously still sees Jones as a dangerous quantity in there.
Clearly Jones is not as good as he once was. Against Tarver in their 3rd fight, there were opportunities for Roy to win, and he didn't take advantage of them. He's not as good as he was. The question remains, how great is he?
Joe is starting to get through with that left hand. Roy's going straight back now, and his reflexes are not what they used to be. And Joe Calzaghe is coming straight through with that 1-2.
And good counter left by Jones, another one. But prior to that, Jones was having trouble seeing Calzaghe's left coming.
And can Roy overcome adversity, which he didn't have to do at his best? He has plenty of it here.
But this is a good fight. That's a really, you know, to predict the outcome of this fight is going to be very hard. Roy still is punching with sharp, clean punches. And
solid left hand by Calzaghe. Follows it up with a couple of body shots. Another flurry by Calzaghe. Drives Jones back against the ropes. Roy may be momentarily hurt.
He's hurt. Straight left.
Blood above the left eye of Roy Jones. Calzaghe's punch is starting to do more damage. Calzaghe grins as he goes back to the hunt. Jones has landed a couple of good counter shots, but Calzaghe is wearing Jones down with the constant assault. Again, the hand speed flurries by Calzaghe. Jones gets him off with 1 punch. Calzaghe dropping his hands and staring at Jones and watching the blood flow and going back to work.
And all this said, Roy is fighting valiantly here. He's fighting hard.
I've never saw Roy Jones cut, but I've never saw him knocked out until he got knocked out by Tarver.
Calzaghe showboating again, taunting Jones as he pushes him into the corner. Jones is landing good, solid counter shots, and Calzaghe now is walking through them.
Yeah, the signature punch right now is a straight left hand of Joe Calzaghe.
That is some cut above the left eye. Calzaghe worked it and finally got it to open up.
Okay, give me a towel. Give me a wet towel. Okay, you just got a little nick, champ. Yeah. Keep them hands up on the inside, baby. Don't drop them, okay? All right? Look, when you finish punching, tie him up and turn him like I told you. You're going to start that flurry after you come. Don't watch the medicine out of his face.
This is the straight 1-2 that I was saying earlier in the round when I saw that Calzaghe was handing. He landed it straight in the eye, and I think that's what caused all of the damage to the eye. Perfect left hand, and you're going to see more of that same punch coming in the next couple of rounds, probably.
Copy box numbers in 7. Jones landed more than half his punches. 22 out of 41. But Calzaghe was 38 out of 72. A 53% connect rate, more than 70 punches thrown. Very hard for Jones to compete with that kind of assault.
Okay.
You know, Max Kellerman, I think I did see Jones once come back from adversity. The last 2 rounds of his first fight against Antonio Tarver, when he absolutely had to win those rounds to win the fight, and he went out and made his point one body punch at a time.
He did. I don't quite think it's exactly the same dynamic here. Tarver was not applying this kind of pressure. Tarver at the time was not considered this kind of fighter. Roy was not this cut and this hurt in that fight. But you're right, he did demonstrate in that fight the kind of fighting heart we like to see in our great champions.
Tarver didn't have the kind of speed and relentlessness that Calzaghe has.
Exactly.
Calzaghe is a whole different guy. His mindset, he's that of a winner. He's very, and I'm surprised how physically strong he looks and bigger than Roy, too. But he's a totally different fighter than Tarver.
Off the top of my head, in 57 Roy Jones fights, I want to say this is the worst cut I've ever seen him experience. They did not manage to do anything close to stopping the bleeding between rounds. And Jones starts to seem to show a sense of desperation as his feet and hands begin to move faster.
Yeah, in the Tarver fights, in this third fight, there was a kind of a concession on Roy's part. I don't see him conceding here. He's still trying to win.
Absolutely. Fighting with more will and heart than was the case against Tarver or Glenn Johnson.
Break! Stay in front! Stay in front!
And we just got word from Roy Jones' trainer, Alton Merkerson. No, he's never been cut. And obviously, nothing ever like this.
No, I've never saw him cut, and I've been watching him fight since he was a 15-year-old kid in the tournaments. Never saw him cut. That straight left hand of Calzaghe is the punch that right now he's better watch out for.
A challenge for Jones and a chance to show a kind of valor that he's never before had to show.
And there is redemption in that, in terms of criticism he may have received in the past for not fighting this way. But it's not the same thing as winning the fight, coming back to win. Still far from over. Perhaps, depending on how long he can go with that cut.
Calzaghe has taken a little bit of a vacation this round, but now begins to apply the pressure again.
Well, I feel he's got control over the fight in every way.
And when he's able to push Jones into corners, he's totally in control. And now, the combinations and the hand speed, and Jones looking to land one big shot. Calzaghe wrestling him into position, dodging the left hook, firing away again. He's swamping Jones with activity and willpower and desire.
How you feeling? I'm good, baby. I'm trying to get him, but I can't get him. I know, baby. Lock up. I'm head so hard. I'm head hard. Got it, Doc?
What have you got for me, those 4 rounds? How have you got those 4 rounds? This guy hasn't got 4 rounds in him. Hey, listen to me. I want to absorb it in you. Absorb it in you, all right? This is the first round. This is the first round. This is another more around 4th round, okay? That's right, you're wonderful. The best fight of your life. You understand?
Yep.
This is the best performance I've seen you go in. All right?
Before the goal.
End the story. Where's the fall to go? Even more.
Even though Calzaghe didn't throw a lot of punches this round, he was placing his punches in show button. He looked like he was targeted to the left eye and placing his punches very selectively.
How much longer do you let Jones go with that cut, Emmanuel?
And I don't see what they're doing. I don't see them using the adrenaline. I don't know what they're using, if anything, to do anything to stop the cut.
You okay? Move that way.
Hold on. This is a great fighter.
Yeah, I think it was Dr. Vernon Jordan up there, but I don't think this fight's going to go.
This is an icon in the sport. You don't want to see him badly hurt. You don't want to see Calzaghe get too many free shots against an eye that is bleeding that badly.
Rocky Marciano's nose is hanging off his face. 7th round of the Ezra Charles fight. The ref said you have one more round. He knocked Charles out. Those are the kind of dramatic moments in a great fighter's career that people remember. Of course, Roy is almost 40 years old, facing a younger, fresher man.
But you know what? Roy's still fighting to win. And a lot of guys like this would just be on the defense, especially at this age. I can't take a risk of getting hurt, but he's trying to win this fight.
He realizes, I think, that this is his last chance on this stage.
And here's how difficult the prospect it now becomes. In 32 Roy Jones fights tracked by CompuBox, Calzaghe has now landed more punches than anyone has ever landed against him. 244 shots.
I wouldn't be surprised if you excluded Tarver and Johnson if you said combined.
It's an onslaught of the kind that Jones has seldom, if ever, had to face, and certainly not on a sustained minute-by-minute basis.
But this is what he can do. As long as he was aggressive going forward, Calzaghe didn't do anything, but he cannot back to the ropes and let Joe get his momentum going. But I don't think he can do anything about it at this stage.
Well, Joe does give him chances by dropping his hands like that, and Roy can punch with both hands.
But it's Joe who's doing the punching, and Roy who's having to cover up. Jones shaking his head. He asked his trainer between rounds, is the eye closed? As if he can't see well enough to know whether his eye is closed.
I can't believe a big superstar fighter like this. It seems like there's no one in the corner doing anything for a cut. Even if they're between rounds, they're trying to go ahead and find someone else, another trainer, and get some coagulants or something.
Well, he's always done it his way. He's always been his own boss. No big name promoter. No big name trainer. The king of Roy Jones's world was always Roy Jones.
Break!
5 previous appearances in Madison Square Garden, he won them all. Came into the ring tonight and knocked Calzaghe down in the first round. It might have been another road to glory. But then, reality started to set in. Nowhere in the world is reality as cruel as in a boxing ring. One more big right hand to punctuate the round for Calzaghe. And Jones, streaming blood, returns to his corner.
Wait a minute, Doc. Get closer. Get closer. Oh! You gotta lock up on him, though. Let me put some pressure on him, Doc.
All right.
Look here. I got it. Keep your eye closed, champ.
All right.
Keep your eye closed. Wipe that blood off his face, Al.
Head good up. Head good up. Back of the head.
Not with the water.
Okay? Tasting him towards the end of the second round now. Now, get it into the spirit.
That's it.
And I want him out in levels. There's nothing left in him. He's just wait.
I gotta get his face cleaned off. Keep him long, champ. Try to hit him with some long shots.
I'm trying, but he got off him and counter with the hooks.
Okay. All right, second, clear the corner. Let's go.
Calzaghe begins the 10th round with a couple of body shots. Harold Letterman, how do you have it coming to the 10th?
Okay, Jim, 87, 83, 7 rounds to 2. Joe Calzaghe. Jim, Roy Jones Jr. uses a physician in the corner to stop cuts, but Dr. Richard Lacy is on the right-hand side of the apron, and the cut is on the left-hand side. And I don't know why Orton Murkison doesn't get out of that ring and let the doctor work in front of him and stop that bleeding. But be as it may, Joe Calzaghe running away with the fight. You got to wonder how much longer they're going to let this go, because Roy's taking a beating. 7-2, Calzaghe.
And it doesn't appear that Jones can see out of his left eye. No. He told Alton Murkison between round he would try to land some hooks. His left hook keeps sailing past Calzaghe's head. Max Kellerman is ready with Dr. Richard Lacy in the corner. Max, what's up?
Dr. Lacy, how are you treating that terrible cut?
Well, we started with adrenaline, then we put some thrombin in it. We're plugging it up with Avatine when we're done. So we did 40 seconds worth of stuff here, and then everything we got, throwing it in there.
Do you feel you're in the right position? You have enough time to work on it?
Don't hold. Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
So the Jones corner believes they're doing all the right things. Bottom line is they have not been effective in stopping the bleeding. And Jones is badly compromised in the ring. This started along about the 2nd round when the swelling started to show up above his eye. And to what degree, Emmanuel Stewart, is this simply a case of a fighter who's almost 40 years old getting hit with punches he hasn't caught before?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with Joe Calzaghe. Just one tremendous fighter. I think he would have been a very, maybe not beaten Roy in the round, but he's been a competitive fight for Roy than anyone. Very smart fighter. Makes tremendous adjustments. Good chin. Good stamina. It's a very, very difficult guy to fight. But there's a lot of guys throw punches, but they just run in. He goes in and out. He's very, very difficult to. Right there, see, he pulls back, and he'd always be a threat for Roy anyone.
And therein lies the danger of fighting well past your prime.
Yep.
That people speculate, well, I don't know, maybe Calzaghe would have beaten Roy at his best. After all, we just saw him beat him. No one's walking through Joe Calzaghe, that's for sure, but at his best, Roy was pretty special.
No, he was very special. But at this stage of his career, it's a rough guy to fight. But this guy, I think, would have been a problem always for him.
Bring it up. A problem for anyone. And the fascinating thing is that at this point, Roy's only chance, it would appear, to win the fight is that he lands something huge and turns it all around by hurting Calzaghe, and Calzaghe's still giving him chances to do it. Calzaghe would be within his rights in shutting down and holding his hands up and coasting to the finish, but he's giving the crowd a show. You're watching the closing rounds of Jones Calzaghe from last week in New York, quite possibly the closing rounds of 2 surefire Hall of Fame careers. And later tonight, a fight which feels like a must-win for both fighters. Former middleweight champion Jermain Taylor against former super middleweight title holder Jeff Lacy. They'll be fighting on the campus of Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. A while ago, our Larry Merchant spoke to Jermain Taylor.
Jermain, did you find any positives moving forward from your fights with Pavlik?
You know what? To be honest with you, after those Pavlik fights, you know, I lost both of them. I just took some time off to, you know, see if I can find my love back for boxing, and that's exactly what I did. So, if you want to say I gained my love back for boxing, and that'd be cool, because I took some time off just to, you know, just for me.
Watching Bernard Hopkins beat Pavlik, how did that make you feel? Did it change your perspective in any way?
To be honest, I don't know how it made me feel, because here it is, on one hand, I'm thinking, okay, I beat Hopkins twice, and then here it is, you know, he making Kelly look like just an easy fight, just like it was nothing. He beat him like it was nothing. So I had mixed feelings, and I've been going around asking people, you know, how did it make you feel? You know, what you think about it? And everybody give me the same thing. They got mixed feelings about it. You know, it's styles what make boxing.
We know you want to beat your old Olympic pal, Jeff Lacy. Do you want to beat him up? Can you beat him up in a fight?
I'm going to have to beat him up. You know, not only did the win is fighting look good. And here it is, I'm coming off 2 losses. You know, I still feel like I still got a lot to prove to my fans.
Thanks.
Thank you, Larry.
No compunction last Saturday night for Joe Calzaghe in beating up Roy Jones. Let's go back to Madison Square Garden.
Right from here. What I'm here. Yeah.
Let a man proof go. Give me that bottle. Give me a bottle, man.
My head good. Come on to the 10.
He's got nothing. He's just looking for a pop shot, all right? All right? Nothing shoot, nothing loose. You've got this in the bag, right? You can get this guy out, drill him away from you. Drill him away from you, all right? You listen now?
Take him out the last.
Take him out last.
Yeah, you take one.
Take him out.
What do you like, Joe?
Again, the danger to Calzaghe here is that he gets caught with a counter. So what does he do? He throws 105 punches in the 10th round.
Believe it or not, that's just part of his style. You see him even training punch on the pads. He does that even on the pads, man. That's just his style. And he's very comfortable doing that. And he feels he has enough control over this fight now.
In other words, if there's any fighter of the last 10 years who's as cocky and super confident as Roy Jones, it's Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah.
And yet it gives Roy chances.
Yes, it does. But
maybe that's what Joe thinks is the right thing to do. Maybe he is, in his way, showing respect for Jones's great reputation and record by saying to him, all right, look, I'm not going to back off. I'll fight in such a way that you've still got an opportunity here. And I'll beat you anyway.
Very sporting of him, Jim.
Don't hold, let go.
Well, he is Welsh. I think he's also, frankly, slowed Jones down to the point where basically he sees it coming.
Yep. Yeah, he feels he has enough control over himself. He was doing this when Roy was real sharp in the beginning, so now, but with Roy fighting virtually without one eye, he feels probably extremely comfortable.
Also, given that Roy at his best was the best fighter to fight in the weight class in which Calzaghe accomplished the most, super middleweight, Calzaghe's taking some pleasure in beating Roy Jones as Roy Jones would beat a fighter. He's out Roy Jonesing Jones.
And Jones is now talking full time. Impossible to tell what he's saying, but he's talking to Calzaghe the whole time. Probably something to the effect of, you can't knock me out. Probably something about making it to the finish line.
Well, there's enough blood for this to be the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and maybe Roy is pulling a bit of a Jake LaMotta here.
A reference to LaMotta versus Sugar Ray Robinson, and the line was, you never knocked me out, Ray. You never knocked me out. What a closing act for Joe Calzaghe. If this holds up and he in fact walks away, these pictures will be a part of ring history for years to come.
And he's had a phenomenal career. If he ends up doing what he's doing and beat two of our legendary greatest fighters here in America at the two biggest arenas, Las Vegas, New York, never lost a fight. Phenomenal record.
To beat Jones with Hopkins sitting at ringside, after having beaten Hopkins with Jones sitting at ringside, not a bad way to close it out.
And beat two undefeated good fighters in Jeff Lacy and Mikhail Kessler.
Not down the other one. Open cut out. Hold up, Doc. Open it, wipe it inside. Open the lid or wipe it inside. Open it, wipe it inside. Okay. Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Get it in there, let me hold some pressure, Doc.
Make it safe and attack with the A's first. Bam, bam, it's A's, right? You with me now? Yeah. You're in me with me. Get a jab, dominating. A jab, the left hook the body. Jab, jab. Wow, left hook. Jab, puncher, left hook the body.
Won this tonight.
Bro, you pissed it.
Winning. Winning.
Well, you make sure you won now. You make sure.
21 minutes.
12 years ago in 1996, Roy Jones knocked out Eric Luca in the 12th round of the only 12th round KO of his career. Calzaghe's never had an 11th or a 12th round KO. The crowd rises to its feet to acknowledge the drama of what they've seen in Madison Square Garden tonight. Referee Hubert Earl has a shirt soaked with blood. Calzaghe and Jones still have respect for one another. Two guys who agreed via cell phone text messages to fight each other with a 50-50 split. Not about the money, about the pride.
Roy knows the only shot he has to win here is to land a home run punch. And he seems to be measuring Calzaghe to try at least one before the end of this round.
You know, you couldn't really blame Calzaghe if he just stayed away and ticked off the clock, so to say, this last round. Because, I mean, he's got everything to lose and nothing to gain. In fact, Roy is moving in, but he's got to let some punches go. He's just getting in position, caution, but he won't let the punches go. He's got nothing to lose. And whatever he throws, he should talk with full power with either hand. But he's not punching.
This is not one of those unpredictable scoring panels, of which we've seen a few in New York in recent years. This is Jerry Roth from Las Vegas, one of the most respected veteran judges in the game. Julie Letterman from here in New York, who is a top-flight judge and a real expert. And Terry O'Connor of Wales is from Wales. So you don't expect Calzaghe to get upended by anything utterly unpredictable at the end of this one.
No, Roy's going to have to do the upending if he hopes to win. So far, maybe he's throwing that's maybe his second punch of the round.
And Calzaghe's walking in with his hands down and giving Roy every chance to land something big, but still dominating the action. Crowd wants Jones to try to do something. They should be thrilled that he's shown such courage as to finish the fight with that kind of blood on his face.
He's got a lot of respect from a lot of fans tonight based on his performance, even though he's losing the fight. I think it's really did nothing but enhance his respect from the fans still.
Yeah, but what would enhance it even more, I think, is if in this last 45 seconds, he at least gave the impression that he was going all out to win.
Yeah, and maybe Calzaghe shouldn't showboat quite so much. Maybe Calzaghe should pay a little bit more respect than to take advantage of this to really try to embarrass Jones down the stretch. Just fight, Joe. You've made your point. Good body shots by both men. Jones takes one last home run swing, and Calzaghe drives him back with a couple of blows. Crowd rises for what might be the last time in the ring for both men. Just could be farewell. And let's see if Calzaghe has made it to 46-0 as Michael Buffer reads the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Madison Square Garden, New York City, we go to the scorecards. All three judges, Jerry Roth, Terry O'Connor, and Julie Letterman score the bout 118-109. To the winner by unanimous decision, the fighting pride of Newbridge, Wales, still light heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Calzaghe.
So after the now seemingly obligatory first round knockdown against, Joe Calzaghe wins the last 11 rounds on all three official scorecards and leaves Roy Jones behind. And now, we leave last week at Madison Square Garden behind and bring you to the banks of the Cumberland River in Nashville, Tennessee. Music City, UCLA. First time ever host for World Championship boxing event, as tonight Jermain Taylor of Little Rock, Arkansas takes on Jeff Lacy of St. Petersburg, Florida. We'll get to that in just a few minutes, but right now live at ringside with HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant and World Championship boxing expert Emmanuel Stewart, a final look back at what happened between Calzaghe and Jones. Larry, most boxing experts surmise, whether correctly or not, that we've seen the last of Roy Jones. What about Calzaghe, who has spoken publicly about the possibility of retiring unbeaten?
First, the obvious. That wasn't the best Roy Jones. The Roy Jones of the 90s who dominated Bernard Hopkins, James Toney, and Virgil Hill, which isn't to say that Calzaghe, a terrific fighter, might not have given him all he could handle on his best day. It is to say, as long as we're in Music City, that the new song out there, the country and western song, Don't Blink, tells us all we have to know. Time flies, don't blink. And Roy Jones seems to be on that flight. Will Calzaghe go on that flight voluntarily? That's his decision. For tonight, Jermain Taylor can make a decision for himself. If he wins handsomely, he can get on the short list of potential opponents for Calzaghe.
And indeed, there are others who would like to be on that short list. If Jeff Lacy were to upend Taylor tonight, he too would probably have Joe Calzaghe on his mind. But Emmanuel Stewart, we're looking back at a fight between two surefire Hall of Famers. And in the wake of what Calzaghe did to Jones, who fares better now in the eyes of history? Jones, who through most of his career was the #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the world, or Calzaghe, who has a chance at an extremely rare distinction of retiring unbeaten?
Jim, just the fact that you asked me that question, and Roy Jones has lost 4 of his last 7 fights, tells you that Roy Jones must have had something special going on in his career. He's been a star since 1988 for the most part from the Olympics, outside of a few years. And the fact that he has lost fights by knockouts consecutively and has been beaten decisively in his last fight and still is being considered says that he has been a star. And I think that Joe Calzaghe, with all of his accomplishments, still has not been a big name in America except for the last 2 years, and may not be getting the full credit that he deserves. Joe Calzaghe is something special. The fact that he's undefeated, he's beat a great fighter like Roy Jones. We said, well, maybe Roy was old. He beat Bernard Hopkins, who we all can see still is not shot. Beat 2 good young fighters, Jeff Lacy, who was undefeated, and Mikhail Kessler. He's a very special fighter, and he may do things in a little strange way, but he's got a rhythm. He can feel punches, get away from him, and he's a very special fighter. I don't know how history is going to look at both of them, but I tell you what, it's a tough contest.
And it's an interesting subject. What will happen now with Calzaghe's Marciano-like record of 46-0? Will he feel as though he has done enough, or will he be tempted one or more times to go back into the ring again? Meanwhile, we're looking at a fight tonight between two fighters who have crossroad mentalities. Jeff Lacy was a rising tide in the sport up until 2.5 years ago when he ran into the juggernaut of, yes, Joe Calzaghe in Manchester, England, where Calzaghe, over the course of 12 rounds, systematically dismantled Lacy's career and reputation to that point. He's won 3 fights since then, but has not yet been impressive in doing so, and therefore is, in the eyes of the betting public, a 5-1 underdog tonight against his former Olympic roommate from Sydney 2000, Jermain Taylor, who himself rose unbeaten to the middleweight championship of the world before he lost 2 times in a row to Kelly Pavlik, and then had to sit ruefully with anger really in his belly watching Pavlik getting dismantled a month ago by Bernard Hopkins in Atlantic City. Who emerges on top tonight, Taylor or Lacy? That'll be coming up in a few minutes. Meanwhile, a lot coming your way in the next 2 months. Let's take a look. November 22, it's Brawler versus Boxer when Ricky Hatton and Paulie Malignaggi meet on World Championship Boxing. Also that night, knockout artist James Kirkland battles Brian Vera. November 25, Real Sports profiles Tim Montgomery, the former fastest man in the world, now in prison for money laundering and lying about Balco. November 29, Boxing After Dark returns with Paul Williams squaring off against Verno Phillips. Also that night, Fast-rising heavyweight Chris Arreola takes on Travis Walker. December 6th, HBO pay-per-view brings you the mega matchup between Oscar De La Hoya and Filipino superstar Manny Pacquiao. December 13th, heavyweight champ Vladimir Klitschko squares off with Hasim Rahman, live from Mannheim, Germany at 4:45 Eastern, 1:45 Pacific time. Klitschko versus Rahman will re-air that same night on both coasts at 10 p.m. December 16th, it's the premiere of HBO Sports' latest documentary film, Breaking the Huddle, the integration of college football. December 17th, catch the live premiere of the next Costas Now for a look back at the biggest sports moments of 2008. And each Monday, check out HBO.com, where you can find the latest episode of our original digital series, Ring Light. Watch it, download it, carry it, share it. And there's one more very big item that we left out of that list, debuting tomorrow night. The next installment of HBO's award-winning series 24/7. Let's take a look.
Why? Why do you think I keep doing this? Why? Because I love it. Because I can.
Sunday, November 16th, 24/7 returns to HBO, spotlighting boxing's most popular figure, Oscar De La Hoya, and the pound-for-pound king, Manny Pacquiao. He is the Golden Boy, the most celebrated boxer of his generation, an Olympic gold medalist, titles in 6 weight classes, and now a new challenge that's returned him to the roots of his legacy.
This is where I started, baby! Big Bear! I still have a lot of fuel left in me. A lot of fuel, baby.
While De La Hoya trains in the California mountains, 80 miles west, boxing's best fighter toils in the shadows of the Hollywood limelight.
Remember, don't come up in the hook. Stay down.
Manny Pacquiao, a fearless technician whose punches carry the hopes of an entire nation.
Millions of Filipino people are hoping for victory, so that's my responsibility. Train hard, get in shape 100%, and fight.
As De La Hoya returns to the ring, he also seeks a final word with Freddie Roach, his former trainer. Now across the ring and assured he will guide Pacquiao to victory.
I know Oscar pretty well. I've trained him, and I truly feel that he can't pull the trigger.
If he thinks that he knows me, he's got another thing coming. Say that I'm over the hill come December 6th. We'll see what happens.
All across the globe, from Mexico and the Philippines to the Hollywood streets and San Bernardino Mountains. 4 weeks of all access.
Yes, again.
No filter.
Hard fucking work, man.
You know, pep rally. Go, go. Speed, speed, get up, get up. Come on.
De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7. Premiering Sunday night, November 16th on HBO.
The 4-episode series, De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7, premieres tomorrow night. Join us as we take you inside the lives and training camp of Oscar De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao as they prepare for their big fight next month. December 6th, HBO pay-per-view brings you the live fight between De La Hoya, the world's best-known fighter, and Pacquiao, pound-for-pound #1. Boxing's most popular figure against the man many consider the #1 fighter in the sport. Don't miss it, December 6th. All right, back live at ringside and ready now to set up the main event. Larry Merchant, simple question. Can Jermain Taylor, beginning tonight, rise back to elite status in the sport?
If he can grow up as a fighter, as he did as a child. When he was 8, he became the little man of the house after a family tragedy. As a fighter, he built a cocoon around himself, a cocoon of success, Olympic champion, undefeated middleweight champion, fan favorite. The fans in his neighborhood loved him, and nobody could get to him until Kelly Pavlik did twice. And what Pavlik did was to expose a stamina deficit related presumably to a chronic training deficit for Taylor. But it's what happens next that matters, and tonight is his next.
And fascinatingly, if there's a career in the sport that more or less mirrors what's happened to Jermain Taylor, it's that of Jeff Lacy, Emmanuel, who had 21 consecutive wins, 17 by knockout, before running into the steamroller of Joe Calzaghe, and since then it's been a promotional change, trainer change, injury, scratch and sniff. What does it take for him to get back to elite status tonight?
Well, he needs a victory and that's putting it mildly, because even though he's had 3 victories since he lost the fight to Calzaghe, he's not been that impressive. And he needs a very impressive victory, and he has to do it by beating Jermain. And I think to do that, he's going to have to put relentless pressure on Jermain, even though it's not his style. That's more of a Kelly Pavlik, but he's got to do it in an intelligent way and try to take advantage of the weakness of Jermain, which he gets hit with right hands over his low left hand, particularly as the fight goes on.
We'll see if Jeff Lacy can do that. We'll see if Jermain Taylor can stick to what he thinks is his best adage tonight, speed kills. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape now for Jermain Taylor against Jeff Lacy. They've known each other for 14 years. 1 year age advantage for Taylor. 1-inch or 3-inch height advantage for the former middleweight champion. A 1/2-inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in a 1/2 pound under the 168-pound limit. Tonight, Lacy enters with an unofficial weight advantage of 5 pounds based on our own HBO scale. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jermain Taylor Jeff Lacy fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case it is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim!
Jeff Lacy hopes to lose himself in the moment tonight and forget about all the difficulties he's faced since he was taken apart by Calzaghe in Manchester 2.5 years ago. He hasn't been able to put his power punches together the way he did on his rise to the top of the 168-pound weight class. Maybe fighting his former friend and roommate is the formula for getting that rhythm back.
Well, I think another thing, too, he's got a trainer who's been with him early in his career who hasn't been with him recently. Roger Bloodworth is back. And from what I gather, Roger's going to try to prepare him to not be relying on that physical strength thing that he's been into so much recently, and to get back to boxing, letting his punches flow much more fluid.
Bloodworth trained Lacy for the first 15 fights of his pro career. Then he was with Dan Birmingham, who also trained Winky Wright at the time and was named the U.S. Boxing Writers Association Trainer of the Year. Now Lacy's back with Bloodworth, as Emmanuel says.
Jim, Calzaghe beat him from his toes to his nose. And so the question out there is, was he overrated to begin with, or did he take such a bad beating that he'll never recover from it?
He won't say it outright, but he implies in conversation that he now realizes that his promoter at the time rushed him into the Calzaghe fight, realizing that he wasn't fully ready for the circumstances he faced. Meanwhile, Jermain Taylor seemed to be arriving at just the right time when he trimmed Bernard Hopkins twice to become the #1 middleweight in the world. Ever since then, he's been struggling to live up to the aura he created by earning that title at such an early age.
Beating Vernon Forrest is forever. But for now, he's got to win tonight. I'm sorry, I said Vernon Forrest. I meant Bernard Hopkins, of course.
Well, Jermain is a favorite of most of the crowd because he's expected to have a much more better boxing skills, and particularly that beautiful left jab that he used to have. He said that he's regained that, and he's not going to just fight and splurge like he did with Kelly Pavlik and then take rest. He's going to be consistent throughout the entire fight.
More on the challenges facing Jermain Taylor when the fight begins. One last word before we go up to the ring. The two fighters attempted one of those ominous stare downs at a news conference earlier this week, and both broke up into gales of laughter. They're simply too close as friends for that kind of venom to have been displayed. Now let's go into the ring to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Vanderbilt University here in Nashville, Tennessee, where tonight DeBella Entertainment, in association with Golden Boy Promotions and Prize Fight Boxing, are proud to present the main event of the evening, a WBC elimination contest scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing in the super middleweight division, sponsored by Zip Guard, the Extreme Sleeve, Azad Watches, Wilkes & McHugh Law Firm and Hotel Indigo. Sanctioned by the Tennessee State Athletic Commission Boxing Commissioner Steve Maychek. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout, should it go the distance, will be Joseph Pasquale, Oren Schellenberger, and Gail Van Oy. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Lawrence Cole. And now, for the thousands in attendance here at Vanderbilt University and the millions watching around the world on HBO, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with red, official weight 167 1/2 pounds. This 2000 U.S. Olympian has a professional record consisting of 24 victories, including 17 knockouts with only 1 defeat. From St. Petersburg, Florida, the former super middleweight champion of the world, Jeff Left Hook Lacy. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 167 1/2 pounds. This 2000 Olympic bronze medalist professional record now stands at 27 victories, including 17 knockouts, 2 defeats with 1 draw. From Little Rock, Arkansas, the former undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Jermain Bad Intentions
Jermain. Come on, Jeff. Let's go, Jermain. All right, gentlemen. Went over instructions are in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Understood? Touch them up. Best of luck to both of y'all. Thank you.
Losing sometimes can be like winning in being its own reward if a fighter can take stock, get off the floor, and come back.
Bucket.
Which one of these athletes will do that tonight?
Ready, guys? Box.
Round 1 begins. And if Jermain Taylor follows the instruction from his trainer, Ozell Nelson, it's bounce on his toes, move, create angles, jab, and constantly impose his speed on Lacy. He doesn't want Taylor standing still and making himself in some way susceptible to one of the big shots with which Lacy might conceivably change the fight. There's a scar on Jeff Lacy's left shoulder, Emmanuel Stewart, and it's a very marked piece of memory for a fighter who was nicknamed Left Hook through most of his career, because against Vitaly Sipko in the fight which followed the Calzaghe fight, he completely ripped the left shoulder apart, tearing the tendons off of the shoulder bone and needed reconstructive surgery to put it back together. He says that it's really been until now before he was ready to feel as though the shoulder was completely repaired and ready to go. But can a fighter ever regain total confidence after an injury like that?
Yes, I can, but I don't know if that's going to be the case in Jeff's case, and I don't know if the shoulder is that big a factor now at this stage. I think it probably has been fully healed. But both guys are fighting technical fights now. They're both intended to box. And, you know, Jermain's good right hand that he has is often telegraphed, so to say, as we're in the game saying his own promoter, Luda Bella, says like a bow and arrow right hand. He shoots his jab and he winds the right hand up before he shoots it. So that's why oftentimes it doesn't land.
It's Taylor's first trip to 168 pounds. Back when you were training him, we always referred to him as a big middleweight. Do you think this weight will be better for him?
I think it'll be good for him. You know, he's mentioned he possibly may even go back to 160, maybe 175. But I think this is a comfortable weight for him.
It may be a comfortable weight, but he doesn't look particularly comfortable in the ring right now.
tactical first round by both fighters. They've stayed in the center of the ring. There's a pretty good left hook by Jermain Taylor that momentarily drives Lacy back.
Conventional wisdom was that Lacy should get inside because he's the shorter man with the shorter arms and try to make his stand there, but he is very content to stay outside.
Good right hand over the top by Taylor. And a good right hand up the pipe by Jeff Lacy. The hidden benefit of the bad left shoulder injury for Lacy, scratch and sniff as it's been, he's learned to win in the last couple of fights, mostly with his right hand.
Stop! Stop! Come here, guys. When we get tied up, don't hit on the back of the heads, all right? Understand? Box! Time!
God in here. Jermain. Good. That's what I want to see. Come out here. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good, baby. Hey. Go ahead. Go ahead. That jab is coming. Just go ahead and keep turning. If he him you up in the corner, grab his ass and hold it and turn it. Keep him turning.
And when you do set up in front, don't be afraid to take a step back and then step back in. So you want to step around him, just keep giving him angles, keep that jab hand on him. You caught him with a nice body shot, just keep touching him. Don't try to knock him out yet, just box him. Looking pretty soft around the middle.
Let's go.
With about a minute to go in round one, when Larry Merchant said Taylor didn't look all that comfortable in the ring, he was right. Jermain, to that moment, had only landed 3 punches. But down the stretch of the round, CompuBox gave Taylor credit for landing 9 blows, including 1 solid left hook and 1 right cross, and that probably gave Jermain the round. 12 out of 33 for Taylor, 5 out of 34 for Lacy by CompuBox count in round one. And you heard Roger Bloodworth suggesting to Lacy as he left his corner that he thought Taylor looked a little soft around the middle. An obvious ploy on the part of the trainer to try to get Jeff to throw some body punches.
Yeah, but I think Jermain looks normal. You know, everybody's not going to be cut and fit. It's one of the problems I always thought that Lacy had. It seemed like recently he's been spending too much time more into weightlifting. You know, this is one of the few fights that he's come in that he didn't come in with all of that muscle type outfit, the military garbs and showing his muscles. And he's focusing on boxing more. But Jermain is a more fluid fighter.
Both fighters have landed some good popping jabs in this round. Lacy landed 1 cracking right hand down the middle over the top. And there, Taylor with the double jab and a right hand all landed.
Jermain is boxing very beautiful right now. He started off his career and got a lot of credibility, mainly because of that beautiful left jab of his, which he abandoned for a while. But he looked like he's boxing tonight, and him and his trainer, Jose Nelson, have been working on using that left hand evidently a lot more.
Taylor able to catch Lacy with the left coming in.
Yeah. Lacy still punches a lot like a weightlifter. His punches don't come off as easy as Jermain's. Jermain's is much faster.
Taylor getting off bunches of punches, usually in comparison to 1 or 2 at a time by Lacy. Couple of left hooks partially blocked by Lacy. Jeff rushes in and they clinch.
Box!
Now Lacy begins to try to work to Taylor's body as Jermain backs up against the ropes. Again, the double jab by Taylor. And Taylor showing an uppercut as Lacy leaned in on it.
If Lacy wants to box Taylor, Taylor is telling him that's not the way to beat him. He's going to have to go inside and fight him.
Hard right hand by Taylor, followed by a left hook. Lacy manages to stick a jab. Right hand sailed past Taylor's head. It was a pretty good round for Jermain Taylor.
Damn good job.
Tomorrow night, don't miss the premiere of our four-episode series, De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7, offering a look into the lives of Oscar De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao in training camp and beyond as their super fight fast approaches. Many storylines there. And December 6th, catch the mega matchup live, De La Hoya and Pacquiao, a fascinating showdown between two of the sport's most accomplished, most visible, most popular fighters.
You caught him with a nice right hand. When you catch him, he's going to come right back. So when you catch him, you got to go defense. You're doing well. You're doing real well. You hit it with a couple more like that, we're going home early. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't get excited. Box a bitch.
There's no official title at stake here, but since Lacy's from Florida and Jermain Taylor is from Arkansas, maybe it's the Southeast Conference Championship.
And the fight is in Nashville, Tennessee.
Jabs through round 2 by CompuBox count. Taylor 16 out of 52. Lacy 4 of 52. Taylor with a big connect advantage by CompuBox count in the second round, 18-7. Roger Bloodworth may be trying to keep his fighter's confidence up, as he told Jeff Lacy when he left the corner, just keep doing what you're doing and land a couple more big shots. We'll be able to go home early. Obviously, Lacy isn't likely to win the volume contest.
In addition to jabbing good, Jermain was also very defense conscious. He's very much aware of Lacy's right hand, evidently. He's keeping his hands up very good every time that Lacy starts coming forward.
But what happened to his left hook? All of his success early on was with the left hook. Is he just abandoned it? Can't he throw it anymore?
I think his caliber of opponents just increased a lot as he got to the top. And I've always said he's a little too slow because I see too much tight muscles in it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that may be most misleading to the general public. Jeff Lacy has the Mr. Universe body of boxers, but this is not necessarily a sport for those who are built like the proverbial outhouse. It's better to have looser, longer, quicker, more responsive muscles, like Kelly Pavlik, who beat Jermain Taylor twice.
And most of your big punchers, you have a lot of them, they were explosive at the end of their punches. Thomas Hearns was an example, and Lennox Lewis and all those type guys, Ray Robinson. Usually muscle guys don't have as much punching power, particularly after 5 or 6 rounds. The muscles get tired and fatigued. Mike Tyson was one of the exceptions, but he was a naturally built little compact muscular guy. Wasn't through weightlifting.
Hey, who said Tyson didn't get tired after 5 or 6 rounds?
That's true. Very seldom did he score knockouts in the late rounds.
Very seldom did he have to.
Good combination by Taylor. Wobbles Lacy with a right and a left. Lacy grabs Taylor coming in. Jermain Taylor made a big impression with the right cross left hook combination, and Jeff Lacy still doesn't have his legs, as he acknowledges by grabbing Taylor again.
Well, this is where we'll find out how close they are as friends. Is Lacy going in to finish him? I'm sorry, Taylor.
This is the Taylor who went after Kelly Pavlik in the second round in Atlantic City, thinking he's got his opponent hurt.
But he's placing his punches a lot better this time, and he's not getting overexcited and just winging punches. He's making sure all of his punches have a target before he lets them go.
If Taylor could score an early to middle round knockout of Jeff Lacy, it would be quite an entry statement into the 168-pound weight class.
And that's very possible, too, tonight.
You okay? Yeah. All right, listen to me. Yeah. When you get hurt, move. Don't stand in there. Move and use the jab, all right? He caught you with an uppercut.
When you hold him, just use your right hand when your right hand free while you hold it. Hit him.
Exactly. When he goes up, you got to hit him on arms. He's waiting for you to bend over in front of him so you bring him up.
Here you see Jermain shoots a left uppercut after shooting a right hand, and the right uppercut moved his body in position for the left hook, and he never saw the left hook. Here we see it again. The right hand came and the left hook came from a different angle, and he never saw it.
Well, he seemed to see it, but Taylor threw it past his glove.
Jermain is putting together his combinations very well tonight. Fighting very intelligent, very conservative, and working everything behind his jab.
And with edges in all of the important CompuBox categories. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 3-0, 30-27. Jermain Bad Intentions Taylor. Jim, I got to tell you, in round 1, he was landing one punch at a time. In round 2, he started doubling, landing combinations. In round 3, he came about as close to a 10-8 round as I've ever seen. I thought he hurt Lacy, he staggered him. 3-0 Taylor.
With a minute to go in round 4, Jermain Taylor has Jeff Lacy totally on the defensive, is faster, has been more powerful, has landed the cleaner shots, and seems very comfortable with what he's doing. Jeff Lacy needs a game changer of some sort.
He's unable to fight on the inside. I don't know if it's because he can't, or he doesn't want to pay the price to get inside, or he doesn't know how, but he has to be right there. He has to battle Taylor right there.
Just to extend the discussion we were having the last round, Emmanuel, about body type and how looser, lankier muscles look better. One of the best examples is Calzaghe.
Yeah, very flexible, very loose guy.
Another hard right hand by Taylor, and Lacy grabs and holds for the 3rd time in the fight. Stop! Jermain Taylor has hurt Jeff Lacy both with right hands and with left hooks. Lacy becoming increasingly a sitting duck for Taylor's jab.
Lacy has never before been an underdog in a fight, including when he fought Joe Calzaghe. But he is fighting like an underdog tonight.
Big right hand by Taylor. Lacy's in trouble again. And Jeff's going to have to grab and hold for the 4th time in the fight. Taylor's fluidity and hand speed tonight becoming more impressive with each passing round.
And it's a variety of punches to it. He's shooting right hand, jab, hooks, uppercuts. And, he seems to be so relaxed. And his defense is great tonight, too. So I'm very impressed with the way, whenever he feels Lacy coming forward, he puts his hands up to protect him.
Looking at this, I'm thinking it's a mistake to even consider going back down to 160 pounds. He was clearly struggling to make 160 in the last few assignments at that weight level, and he looks extremely comfortable at super middleweight tonight. Good body shot by Jermain Taylor to punctuate the round. A vicious left hook to the ribcage.
Hey, keep taking your time, baby. It's don't come. Don't rush yourself. Don't panic. Don't rush yourself. But he'll start passing. He'll start lunging in. Step on to the side. Matador on the board. Quick feet. Got it?
You're turning great.
Same thing.
Deep breath, baby. Don't wait, Jeff.
But don't stand out there. Look, don't stand out there looking at him waiting for that counter shot. It ain't coming. You got to make it happen.
Here you see Jermain land a beautiful 1-2 and followed with a combination, a repeat of the same combination again. And then try to body punch on top of that. He's mixing up his punches very well tonight.
In the speed equation, it's all Taylor. Just as last week in Jones Calzaghe, the speed equation always matters. Jones, who has always had the faster hands than anybody else, came up to somebody who was as fast or faster. You saw the result.
What a crowded weight class 168 pounds is suddenly turning out to be. Joe Calzaghe is still the reigning champion, but doesn't appear as though he'll fight in this division again. You're looking at two big-name fighters in Jermain Taylor and Jeff Lacy. There's Mikkel Kessler, the Dane, who still has only one loss, that one to Calzaghe. Lucien Boutet of Montreal, unbeaten. Librado Andrade, who pressed Boutet to the limit before losing to him 2 weeks ago. Anthony Mundine doesn't leave Australia, but has a glittering record down there. Two rising Americans, Andre Ward and Andre Durrell. This could be a festival of great fights in this division over the course of the next few years.
You got some young comers coming up too. That's going to be very exciting too.
Down goes Taylor. on a right-hand counter shot. And Lawrence Cole is going to say that it wasn't a knockdown.
Why not?
Why was that not a knockdown?
Would he have gone down if he wasn't hit? Why wasn't that a knockdown?
Seemingly an amazing lucky break for Taylor, as by my lights, Lacy prompted the fall down with a counter right hand.
Which makes it a whole different fight, scoring-wise.
Taylor's fighting as though it was a real knockdown.
Yeah, he's fighting as if he hasn't did anything aggressively or offensive since that knockdown, even though it wasn't called a knockdown. And looking at the expression in Lacy's eyes, you can tell he feels it was a knockdown.
Almost as if Taylor got just a tad overconfident. Things were going so easily for him.
And the right hand comes out of nowhere.
Well, Lacy kept saying that he can throw the right over that jab, and he did.
Now there's a good counter shot by Taylor. Firing back with a left hook, but the fight threatens to become a brawl, and that wasn't the Taylor plan.
No, in fact, you know, I know what one right hand can do. I remember how they rocked with Lennox Lewis in South Africa.
Do you now?
Yes, I do. And I'm hoping not to experience that again on December the 13th.
Talking about Rahman against Vladimir Klitschko in Mannheim, Germany, and of course, Emmanuel Stewart, the man you're listening to, is the trainer of heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko. Louis Rahman was 7 years ago, and there's a lot of water under the bridge since then.
I hope so.
Good body shots by Taylor. Lacy drives him back with a right hand upstairs and comes back to crack him with another right hand. Jeff Lacy has gotten a foothold here in round 5. He didn't get credit for what appeared to be a knockdown.
But it told him that this is still a winnable fight.
You got to find your jab, man, and turn him. You're going back, straight back. Don't go straight back. Turn him. Come on, get back on the game plan. Come on.
That time they didn't count it, but that don't matter. You just keep hitting him with the same shots. All right?
Yeah.
And when you throw it sharp, come back with the hook. And when he grabs you, start hitting him in the body, on the legs, I don't care where you hit him. Rough him up on the inside, on the outside.
Here you see the right hand coming. Even though it didn't land clean on the chin, any blow that delivers to any upper part of the body from the waist on down that creates the opponent falling to the floor is legally considered a knockdown, even if it's a blow on the shoulder.
So it's a very close call. And you see there that the punch glanced off the shoulder, may have glanced off the head, and then Taylor went down with his feet going over Lacy's feet, and Cole decided not to call it a knockdown. But both fighters have treated that event as though it was a knockdown.
Yes. And I think right now you're going to see a good fight break out, because even though these guys have been not just on the team together in the Olympics until they were actually roommates, but both guys are fighters. I know Jermain Taylor, and he's going to fight.
There's a lot at stake for them.
It is. Both guys are like at crossroads, as you say, and their whole careers are going to change after this, one way or the other.
And what was, before the middle of round 5, a fluid technical boxing match dominated by Jermain Taylor has suddenly become a rougher, more fractious brawl, and Jeff Lacy finally won a round on Harold Letterman's scorecard. And now Lacy is getting in the occasional big shot here and there. Now Taylor goes back to landing his jab. Probably his best method for fighting his way back into control.
You know, it's interesting. Jeff left hook Lacy is not really throwing too many left hooks. He's mainly dependent on taking advantage of the right hand weakness of Jermain, which Bernard Hopkins did the first fight so successfully for 2 or 3 rounds near the end, and Kelly Pavlik.
I think the injury against Sipko permanently changed Jeff Lacy as a fighter and made him right hand dependent. Doesn't mean he can't fight.
But the mindset of both of these guys means that this is going to turn out to be a hell of a fight.
Break!
I've seen very bad fights between friends. Bones Adams and Kevin Kelly should have just gone to dinner and not even entered the ring. But this is turning out to be a violent fight. Last time two Olympic teammates fought each other was in 1994, when 1984 United States Olympic teammates Frank Tate and Virgil Hill fought for the second time in the light heavyweight division. Taylor trying to change the fight back in his favor with a big right hand over the top. Lacy partially deflected it by rolling his head.
Evander Holyfield, who is at ringside here, once fought an Olympic teammate, Henry Tillman, as a cruiserweight, I believe. It is rare.
Tillman was the guy who eliminated Mike Tyson from the 1984 United States Olympic team. Tyson got a chance to avenge that as a pro and knock Tillman out in one round. Taylor was looking for a knockout in that round.
Good comeback round for Taylor.
Good comeback. A lot of tremendous powerful straight right hands.
Right there. That's
and
what
most of them
That's the
landed.
game plan, right there. Hey, Jermain, I ain't saw not one body shot. Yeah, when you get inside, bend your knees inside. Let's work that body. Let's dig some hard shot to the body. Triple that damn hook up down to his body. Okay, bend them knees inside. You can't do it. Stand straight up. Some water.
Never make short circles. That jab's working. Keep it working, okay?
Gibson.
All with one jab. Double, triple that jab up. Keep your head back. Don't get it out over the knee. Double it up, and then sharp right hand. Sharp left hooks. You understand what I'm saying? Don't come in with your head out.
CompuBox numbers show that in the 6th round, Jermain Taylor jabbed his way back into control of the fight, setting up his right hand, landing 21 of 39 punches overall against only 4 of 25 for Lacy. Taylor landed 11 jabs in the round. That was the tactical key. Harold, how do you have it halfway through the fight?
59-55, 5 rounds to 1. Jermain Bad Intentions Taylor. Jim, I don't know what the heck happened in the 5th round. I mean, to me, it was a clean knockdown. Jermain Taylor went down on the end of a punch. We all saw it. But what happens with the judges is that they're obligated to score a 10-9 rather than 10-8 because Lawrence Cole said no knockdown. So the truth of the matter is it cost Jeff Lacy a point. 59-55, 5 rounds to 1, Taylor.
You know, for the most part, Lacy's only throwing one effective punch, a right hand. And Jermain is punching with his jab, his right hand, and his left hook and uppercut. So he's at a big disadvantage. All Lacy's doing is basically focusing on trying to land the power right hand.
And one punch at a time.
One punch. His punches are not flowing together.
While Taylor has, in flurries, been able to throw combinations.
So far, all the conventional wisdom about this fight has turned out to be right. That Taylor was just too quick, and that he would pile up points with his jab and keep the opponent at the end of it.
See that? So that's the variety of punches that Jermain is throwing. His uppercut, left hooks, straight jabs, right hands.
You think that Taylor is so relaxed in part, Emmanuel, because they sparred so many rounds over the years that he feels he's really familiar with Lacy and his style?
That could be the case, but I think just in general, he's found out that he's fighting a guy that's primarily just fighting with one punch for the most part, and he can beat him with the jab. He can actually beat him with combinations, and everything. He just got two. It's like giving one guy 5 weapons and one guy 1 weapon.
Lacy finally landed a good counter left hand. Was able to stick Taylor with a little left hook as Jermain was coming in. But most of the good counter shots in the fight have been thrown by Jermain Taylor. Lacy lunging forward, trying to land that right hand lead.
There's a lump beginning to form over the left eye of Lacy from that jab.
And there's a small pressure closing on the outside of Taylor's left eye, which has frankly been a regular occurrence in his last several fights. As they bombard each other down the stretch of the 7th round. On the campus of Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. We thought the promoter had caught a really bad break, and a Vanderbilt football game was moved 11 days ago to prime time. But this arena is largely filled.
Nice round. Another nice round. A lot better. Come on, Jermain. You had him hurt over there. You let him hold on to you. Come on, you got to use it. You got to get him off for you. You don't got to bump him, okay? Get him angled. When you get him hurt this time, let's get him up out of there.
All right. You got to get him on that jab and then let him rock right into that right hand.
Take a deep breath.
So keep stepping to your left and use your jab. As you step to your left, double that jab up, and then come your punches. And when you force him to the corner, listen to me. When you force him into the ropes, it's like...
Here you see Jermain land a perfect right uppercut that is delivered when a guy is shooting the left jab and bending his head down.
And you saw the CompuBox numbers, which are ruthlessly one-sided, partially because Taylor is landing nearly half his punches in the fight. Pretty extraordinary, and a mark of what a below-average defender at this level Jeff Lacy truly is. Emmanuel, one of the oldest stories in the sport is that of the promising career badly damaged by a single bad matchup, a single unfortunate beating. Is it possible Jeff Lacy's career would be different had he not been allowed to suffer the last 3 or 4 rounds of inevitability against Calzaghe in Manchester, England?
It could have been, but you know, Calzaghe destroyed him, I think, physically, mentally, and any other way possible. But Jeff is still fighting a very tough fight. I always felt that he was a little bit overrated. When he stepped up in class, his knockouts and the performances lacking because he was just not prepared. He's been mostly a physical fighter.
Against lesser opponents, and this would never happen with somebody like Taylor with his pedigree. But back in the day, against lesser opponents, Lacy actually intimidated some of his opponents before they ever got into the ring. They would simply look at the body and say, oh my God.
It was a miniature Mike Tyson type intimidation.
How am I going to fight him?
Well, he was an Olympian and a crowd-pleasing fighter, a tough guy, a good guy, and built an early record that suggested to many observers that he could be a serious fighter, but it never turned out that way.
His first professional fight actually had to be postponed by 2 days when the original opponent for his pro debut took one look at his body at the weigh-in and said, I'm walking away. And they had to go find somebody else to fight him 2 days later.
You should have asked him if he could have borrowed his body for a few hours.
Well, we'd all like that.
You know, Jermain is doing what any seasoned experienced fighter would do. A fighter's got one punch, you take that one punch away from him. And that's what Jermain is doing. He's taking away, for the most part, the right hand, and after that, Lacy doesn't have too much else to offer.
So do we have to start asking the question, does Taylor have to end this fight with an exclamation point to make himself the leading candidate to fight Calzaghe?
The one thing I would say for Lacy, even though he may be in outclass, he's still fighting with good intentions right now and a desire to win. So anything can happen in this fight. If Jermain gets tired or fatigued anywhere along the way, Lacy is standing in a position with his mindset to turn this fight around.
Another terrific right-left combination by Jermain Taylor. Lacy showing some heart, fights back with the right hand. Well, earlier on this undercard, you got the professional debut of the only medal-winning fighter on the Beijing Olympic team for the United States, heavyweight Deontay Wilder, 6 feet 7 inches, 23 years old, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, against Ethan Cox. Watch the perfect counter right-hand shot right there. That was the best thing Wilder did in his 2 rounds against Cox. Shortly after that, he poured it on with another onslaught of right hands, and that produced the first victory of Wilder's career by knockout. We'll see if he can produce some excitement for the United States in the heavyweight division. Then Kermit Cintron, trying to rebound from his second loss to Antonio Margarito, fought tough veteran Lovemore Ndu in the welterweight division. And the greater skills and better hand speed of Cintron carried the day as he rolled to a unanimous decision victory. A step back toward good things for Kermit Cintron, who's only lost twice in his professional career, both losses to Antonio Margarito. Emmanuel, you used to train Cintron. What'd you think of the way he looked tonight?
I thought he looked pretty good. The guy he fought was very difficult to fight. That dude was basically smothering him for the most part and neutralized Herman's great punching power.
So Kermit had to grind out a decision victory. Not necessarily his profile as a fighter, but he got it done in professional fashion.
And he finished up strong in the 12th round.
CompuBox numbers through 8, as I mentioned, very one-sided. Taylor landing 133 to only 50 for Lacy, even though Lacy has actually thrown a few punches more. So great efficiency and great accuracy in the fight for Jermain Taylor, who has so far found Lacy an easy target for his jab and his right cross and his left hook, mostly thrown as counter punches.
Break! Step back. Come on, step back. Time! Time! Right there.
Mouthpiece. Taylor's came out. Nope, it was Lacy's mouthpiece that came out. Now replaced by Roger Bloodworth.
An old-time fighter named Ted Kid Lewis from London was the first one to use a mouthpiece. He had a dentist make him a mouthpiece. Fighters in those days would use oranges as mouthpieces, orange skins. And some fighters wouldn't fight him because they thought he had an advantage. I guess he did.
Excellent jabbing by Jermain Taylor. Pistol pumping the jab. One right after another.
Stop! Stop!
Did I say pistol pumping? I meant piston pumping.
Box!
I don't believe pistols pump.
Come on, let go.
Lacy lands a jab, stepping in. But as usual, one punch at a time for Jeff.
Stop! Break!
It's desperation time for Lacy.
Coming down the stretch of the 9th round of a scheduled 12. Jermain Taylor has in all likelihood won all but a single round. A round in which Taylor went to the canvas, but Lacy was not given credit for a knockdown.
Didn't we see that fight last week?
Break! Time!
Set up. You understand what I'm saying? You're coming up, you're stopping and letting him set up. If you don't let him set, he can't get off. You got to give it all, baby, because you need every round. You need to take him out. You got to drop it.
Off of that jab, very important.
So ice on this neck.
Very important, off of that jab.
You winning the fight?
Yeah, yeah. Don't look good. I just don't want to give up nothing.
Nothing.
Don't even hold him. Saying don't hold him.
Here you see Jermain working his, as you were saying, Jim, his pistols like left jab.
Yep.
And he's working it beautiful, too. He's really pumping it.
Seconds out!
And Lacy has no defense for it. And look, he even hooked off of the jab.
Time!
A little pop for the piston industry at this moment of the hoped-for bailout. Harold, any bailout for Lacy so far?
Man, not really. 89, 82, 8 rounds to 1, Jermain Taylor. Jimmy, I gotta tell you something. You know, Jermain Taylor's doing a great job with his jab, with the straight right hands. He's punching him to death. He's mugging a guy. But he's also holding. In the 8th round, Lawrence Cole yelled, second warning for holding. Watch Jermain. A couple of good shots, and then he grabs him. What's happening is the holding is straight right there. You see he's holding him. He's holding Lacy. And it's frustrating the devil out of Lacy because Lacy can't punch when he's being held.
Is it
8-1, Taylor.
Is it tactical holding, or is his
Of course it's tactical
stamina, or is his
It's
stamina?
tactical.
Is his stamina issue beginning to arise?
I'm beginning to question that also, Larry.
Well, if the stamina issue is showing up, it sure as heck didn't hurt him much in round 9 when he landed 16 jabs and 26 total punches, both his high numbers for the fight.
Even when Lacy's punching, he still just doesn't land too many punches. It's ineffective aggression. So Jermain is smart. He's taking his breaks, tying him up, resting, taking it, and then explodes all of a sudden again.
I think the holding is created as much as anything by Lacy falling on him after lunging forward to try to land the punch. Right there. Lacy heard Roger Bloodworth telling him that he must drop Taylor. So he understands what it takes to have any chance to win the fight.
He has no defense at all for Jermain Taylor's jab. But Jermain does have a defense for Lacy's right hand. He puts his left hand up high, and that stops the right hand from coming through.
2 more right hands landing for Taylor. He's winging them a little wide now, and therefore some of the effect is lost.
Because he draws back. You can see the right hand coming, so even though he lands, it doesn't land with the effect that if he didn't see it. But Lacy doesn't have any defense. He just bends his body over to the right and just takes the jabs and right hands. He doesn't roll his shoulders. He doesn't slip. He just bends slightly to his right and just chews them up.
Seventh round, baby.
This 11?
Never.
All right, listen. You're letting him slide on this. You set up, you hit him with a nice 1-2, but then you stand there and look at him and let him set up again, okay? Don't let him set up. Okay. Either move to your left, move to your right, but when you come with 2 jabs and throw that right hand straight. Don't try to bring it over the top. Just throw it straight, come back with a hook. Put your combinations together. Now he's going to
try. More to go, baby. Come on, let's work it. Don't give him nothing. Stay off the ropes. Keep him in the middle of the ceiling ring and stay behind that jab. You told him that you threw that jab hook.
Beautiful. Seconds out.
Combi box numbers in round 10, more of the same. Taylor 16 out of 46, Lacy 5 out of 36. The jab contest has been no contest. Taylor landing 95 of them through 10 rounds, to only 27 for Lacy. The jab contest wasn't supposed to be a contest.
Time, neutral corner.
Lacy was supposed to be able to
right there,
gain a foothold in the fight with power punches.
Probably
only in one round has it happened.
Time.
Minutes, 47 seconds to go in the fight as both fighters get a breather. And the crowd expresses its appreciation for the most significant fight to take place in Nashville in decades.
Let go of him.
Jermain Taylor's fighting a very good technical fight, and I have to give a lot of credit also to his trainer Ozell Nelson and Dickie Woods, who did a great job, and the cut man Ray Rogers. He's fighting a very smart fight.
How do you see the equation of Taylor versus Calzaghe, Emmanuel?
Emmanuel, Taylor versus Calzaghe. How would that fight look?
Well, you know, Calzaghe is a very special guy. It would be very difficult for anybody that I know of right now to beat Calzaghe with this unusual, gifted talent that he's got, his condition, his ability to think and make adjustments, and to feel punches. But it would be a very interesting fight. Jermain Taylor that's fighting up here in front of me tonight would be a very competitive fight for anyone.
Well, I'll tell you, if the fight were to take place, it would probably have to be at 170. I couldn't see Calzaghe coming all the way back down to 168 at this point in his career. And frankly, his punches are straighter and are delivered more quickly than Jermain Taylor's. Taylor's tendency to let his punches swing wide would give Calzaghe a lot of opportunities, it seems to me.
It is, but it would be a very competitive fight. But Calzaghe right now, it's hard for me to go against him with anyone in boxing.
Anyone.
Well, if you bet
anyone
everyone
in 168 to 75.
Well, if you bet every one of his fights, he'd be 46-0.
You know, the fact that he's been knocked down 5 times, 4 of them were in the first round.
Right hand by Taylor. Jermain Taylor is once again looking to try to finish Jeff Lacy and walk away with a knockout win. And this is very tough for Jeff Lacy to take.
Is that any way to treat an old pal, he's saying? Looking at him plaintively?
He's being humiliated in a fight which Lacy himself described as a crossroads fight.
Lacy just doesn't have any defense for the punches. He just walks straight into the punches. And Jermain is actually, I think, gotten tired of hitting him, so he has to take a rest after pounding on him.
Lacy himself openly said, if I can't win this fight, it's going to be hard to fight at this level again. He's got one more round to try to rescue disaster.
Hey, one more round. Come on, have another round like that. Another round like that.
How was that round?
That was good. That was good. That's good. You had him hurt again.
Last round.
Speed. Hey, all I want is speed. Don't do shit stupid.
Just throw it straight.
Okay.
And bring the hook behind it. And when he starts to tie you up, take that half step back and hit him in the legs, hit him in the body, hit him anywhere. Because he just tied you up trying to, he don't want to fight. And then
hey, smart. The box smart around. When that chance come, get him on rope. When it rips a good hard shot to his body. He stand too straight up on the rope.
You gotta let your hands
listen,
go.
don't leave your head hanging out over your knees. Got me? Finish his ass.
Jermain Taylor has 5 children. 3 babies, 3, 2, and 1 with his wife, Erica Taylor, the former college basketball star. He bought his mother a house. He takes care of several members of his extended family. He probably has as many people for whom he is financially responsible as almost anybody near the top end of the sport. In that sense, even though he's made a ton of money, Emmanuel, he needed another big victory tonight.
He needed it in the worst way. You know, consider the fact it's been nearly a year and a half since he's won a fight. And he needs what he's getting tonight, not only a victory, but an impressive victory. Because you have to keep the earning power that he has right now, a third loss or either unimpressive victory would have tremendously diminished his earning ability.
All those responsibilities, plus all the toys he's bought for himself, tends to keep a fighter hungry.
Well, and you know, after the 2 losses to Pavlik, by his own admission, he needed time to walk away, take a rest, think about his commitment to the sport. But under the circumstances, and despite the fact he has obvious tactical advantages over Jeff Lacy, it has to rank as one of the biggest victories, if not the biggest, and one of the most impressive performances of Taylor's career.
Well, he's done what he was supposed to do. I can't say he's looked spectacular, but he's done exactly what he was supposed to do.
I agree with you.
To move into the next act of his career.
And is showing seasoning. This is finally the first time in his career that he's showing seasoning as a fighter. He's had some rough experiences, but he's showing seasoning. He's placing his punches, he's tying up his opponent, doing a lot of variety of punches. Very, very smart, intelligent fight.
He looks like a veteran fighter in there tonight.
Yes, he does.
Has anybody we've ever gone on about like this to the end of the fight wound up getting knocked out?
No, we're perfect. Of course not. 1 minute to go. Taylor hitting Lacy as he comes in. Lacy with no defense against Jermain Taylor's left hand. His jab and his left hook, both supreme weapons tonight. Good right hand for Taylor, drives Lacy back into the ropes.
You couldn't say he's trying to carry his old pal. He's still trying to hurt him.
Stop! Don't push down, don't push down. Step back.
In about 4 or 5 minutes, once this decision is announced, Jermain Taylor is going to tell Larry Merchant that he wants to fight Joe Calzaghe.
You think so?
Or to fight Hopkins again, or to fight Pavlik again. But he's going to want more big fights.
There are some pretty good little fights out there for him as well as against some of the title holders until a big one appears. Sometimes you can't force the big one to happen.
A fight with Kessler would be a sensational matchup.
A dangerous fight as well.
With Joe Calzaghe moving up to light heavyweight, I would probably say Kessler is the probably best super middleweight in the world today, by most of the boxing people's opinion.
A harder hitter than Lucien Boutte. Boutte is unbeaten, and some of Boutte's luster disappeared in the last minute of his fight against Libado Andrade when he barely made it to the finish line a couple of weeks ago, but he won the fight. Bottom line is we'll see what happens to Taylor in the future. It's inconceivable that he's done anything other than to earn a unanimous decision victory over Jeff Lacy tonight. As inconceivable as it would have been a week ago for one of those scorecards to be for Jones instead of Calzaghe. CompuBox numbers in the last round, Taylor landing 24 to only 6 for Lacy.
Good night's work.
Jim, before the fight, you had said that you thought that the fight would probably be a unanimous 12-round decision, like many other people, and it turned out to be you was right on the money in favor of Jermain Taylor.
Yeah, well, I think that was probably the general consensus expectation coming in, that Jermain Taylor would roll to a decision victory. Let's see if Michael Buffer fulfills that for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Oren Schellenberger and Gail Van Oy both score it 119-109. Joe Pasquale scores it 118-110. All to the winner by unanimous decision. Now the #1 ranked WBC mandatory contender in the world, Jermain Bad Intentions Taylor.
CompuBox numbers will reflect a numerical landslide for Taylor, even more one-sided than what Calzaghe did to Jones last week. Taylor landing 138 more punches over the course of 12 rounds, even though Lacy threw one more punch during that time frame. When you land 48% of your punches in the fight, you have taken your opponent to the cleaners. Part of the big margin, Taylor landing 78 more jabs while throwing only 43 more and tripling Lacy's connect percentage on that punch. But it was really power punches where Taylor even more easily won the fight. This is where Lacy was supposed to try to compete. And Taylor lands 60 more power punches while throwing 44 fewer than Jeff Lacy. And again, if you land 57% of your power punches, you have annihilated the man in front of you. Let's go to Larry Merchant with Jermain Taylor.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Jermain.
Thanks, Larry.
Did this fight unfold the way you expected it?
You know, it was a comeback fight. It took a long layoff. I knew Jeff was a strong fight. I knew he was going to launch with his punches. I knew all I had to do was just box him. You know, I just fight my fight when he come in. I knew he threw a lot of looping punches. So just let him throw it.
Does that come from having sparred hundreds of rounds with him, that you felt relaxed because you know what he had?
I didn't spar hundreds of rounds with him, but I sparred him enough to know him, you know, enough to know what he got. And I just did what I had to do, man. Just did what I had to do to win. It's a comeback fight. I'm on the comeback.
When you went down, did you think it was a knockdown?
No. I'm proud the referee did a great job of not calling the knockdown because I slipped. He stepped on my toe and I slipped. I don't even know if he stepped on my toe, but I know it was a slip. It wasn't no knockdown.
When you say it's a great comeback fight, how do you envision the next part of your career? Do you think you can regain the stature you had previously?
It's all about getting your confidence back up. You know, the more fights you win, the more confidence you get. You know, and I feel like, this fight was a confidence builder. You know, Jeff, the hardest hitting guy I know. You know, if I could take his punches, I still got it. You know, even though I've been knocked out before. You know, so I was a little rusty in there, but I feel like I fought my fight.
Would you like to go direct to fighting Joe Calzaghe, or would you rather fight some other 168-pounder with a title?
Like I said, Larry, I'm on a comeback, man. I'll fight whoever. If they put Joe in there next, then it'll be Joe next. So whoever they want me to fight, that's what I'll do.
Your promoter, Lou DiBella, told me earlier in the ring a few minutes ago that if Calzaghe is there, that's who you would want. And you're happy with that decision from the people who are your management.
I've been with Lou ever since I started. You know, he's my right-hand man. I trust him. You know, he's the one who brought me to the world title. And hopefully he can bring me back again.
Thank you again. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I love you, Little Rock, Arkansas, baby.
Jim?
Always. I love you.
Big night for Little Rock, Arkansas. Jermain Taylor gets the win. Pretty much what we expected, Emmanuel, but I still think it has to be a very positive feeling for Jermain after his longest layoff of his career, coming off of 2 losses, to go in and do exactly what you expected him to do.
Yeah, he fought a very impressive fight. I'm quite sure he's satisfied with himself. What I would like to see him do is to fight another fight as soon as possible if he didn't get injured, instead of just waiting on the super fight. I think he still needs more experience. He fought maybe the first really good technical fight of his career.
This was
on this level, and I think he needs to fight more often and stay busy instead of just waiting on a super fight.
He lost his last fight at 160 pounds against Kelly Pavlik by knockout. He lost a decision to Kelly Pavlik in a fight that was set at a weight level of 166, and they both weighed in at 164. This was his first fight in the 168-pound weight class, and it looked to me like a very comfortable weight level for him.
Yeah, I thought he fought a very smart fight. The weight seemed to have been natural. And don't forget the Kelly Pavlik fight, number 2. He was like right in the fight. It was almost a toss-up after 10 rounds. And he just collapsed the last 2 rounds, and that's how Kelly won the decision, which some thought was controversial. But Kelly won the fight. But this fight, he had a lot of pressure on him from a shorter guy. But still, he held up very well and finished up strong in the last 2 rounds. And that was very impressive to me.
Indeed, and bad destruction for the career of Jeff Lacy. We'll see where it goes from here. Meanwhile, Larry's back. Your final thoughts on Taylor's easy unanimous decision win?
Jim, I've been holding back on a story for a couple of years, waiting for the right time to use it about Jermain Taylor. And that's a story about a park in Arkansas, his home state, called Crater of Diamonds. It's a park where people go to look for diamonds. They turn up rocks, and every once in a while they turn up a real diamond. And I've been trying to make up my mind, as others have. Is Jermain Taylor, coming from Arkansas, where no other fighter ever came from, was bred in and trained in, to achieve his level, a real diamond in the rough? Could he become a polished diamond? After tonight, I'd have to say he's somewhere between those two. He may never be an absolute polished diamond as a prize fighter, but he showed that he can handle himself in the ring, and that against other people in this division, he can handle himself very well.
So he's more an industrial diamond than a natural diamond?
Maybe not a natural diamond. He is a natural diamond, but he's always had these rough edges, I thought, that never put it all together. Now, tonight, what I saw was something better.
Good industry in the ring and a diamond of a win for Jermain Taylor. And if you missed any part of tonight's telecast, you can catch it in its entirety on HBO tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and on HBO 2 tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 p.m. and Tuesday evening at 11:15 p.m. Tomorrow night, our Emmy Award-winning series 24/7 returns. This time our cameras follow Oscar De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao as they prepare for their December 6th showdown. And on November 22, 2 of the world's best 140-pounders step into the ring when Ricky Hatton takes on Paulie Malignaggi. Next on HBO, stay tuned for Ricky Gervais out of England. And now for our entire HBO crew, I'm Jim Lampley, saying so long from Nashville, Tennessee.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.
Coming up on a brand new 24/7, boxing's biggest superstar.
The most emotional win.
And the reigning pound-for-pound king.
Hard right hand by Pacquiao.
Are getting ready for their December 6th dream match. From Mexico to the Philippines to Las Vegas, step into their lives before they step into the ring.
I feel strong.
The Emmy Award-winning series De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7 premieres tonight at 8:30.
Next on HBO. Speaking his truth, whether we like it or not. The season finale of the HBO late night series, Real Time with Bill Maher. Next on HBO.
On the next World Championship Boxing, two of the world's best junior welterweights are ready for battle.
Big left hook by Ricky Hatton.
Ricky the Hitman Hatton, the skilled brawler from Manchester, England, and former junior welterweight champ, seeks to make his nation proud.
And this fight is over.
Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi.
Good jab by Malignaggi.
The lightning-fast showman from Brooklyn and another former junior welterweight champ is up for the challenge.
He knows he's the champion. He's finishing this fight like a champion, too.
It all goes down in Vegas. Hatton versus Malignaggi, live Saturday night at 10 on HBO. The best fighters in the world fight here.
That's Jason Bourne.
What's he after?
He's looking for something in his past.
Someone started all of this, and I'm gonna find them.
The Rise and Fall of a Dynasty. House of Saddam. Premieres Sunday, December 7th.
We have the two most exciting fighters in the world today. I have to prove to myself that I can still do this.
It's a dream for fight fans.
You're watching The Buzz.
It is a privilege for me to be standing here right next to Our Lady.
The Statue of Liberty stood strong as boxing superstars Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya crossed the Hudson to announce one of the biggest fights in boxing history, the Dream Match.
And get ready for a fun fight.
Hoya has more hand speed than Ricardo Mayorga, and he's proving it face to face.
And what you have is the man who's been at the top of his game and probably the most famous fighter, if not the best throughout the last decade, fighting today's best fighter.
For both guys, it's a lot at stake.
Fans flooded the grounds at this first ever press conference on Liberty Island, kicking off a 6-city media tour to promote their sold-out December 6th showdown in Las Vegas.
Super Bowl of boxing.
I assure you, I'm more excited than you are.
Manny is the new young gun.
I will be fighting to give glory and honor to my country.
The pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
And the hyper-energetic Pacquiao, relentless with rights and lefts.
For Manny, it's a huge step up to take on somebody like Oscar. I'm faster and I'm younger.
He's a great guy, hard worker, he's a machine.
And yes, he's a smaller guy, but he's relentless.
I know Oscar's strengths, I know his weaknesses, I know Oscar pretty well, and we're going to take advantage of that.
The heart that he has, the fire that he has, is a big threat to me. So I'll be in the best shape of my life to be ready.
And Leading up to the fight, HBO Sports Emmy Award-winning reality series 24/7 returns for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Pacquiao and De La Hoya as they prepare for the mega match.
This time around, we're gonna get even more personal.
Catch all 4 episodes of De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7. Premieres tonight at 8:30. Then find out who will be the last man standing. The Dream Match, De La Hoya versus Pacquiao. Live Saturday, December 6th on HBO pay-per-view.
Because it will be one roller coaster, that's for sure.
Next on HBO. Speaking his truth, whether we like it or not. The season finale of the HBO late night series, Real Time with Bill Maher. Next on HBO.